slowly but surely I've been editing a movie review that should have been out months ago, but a new movie came out and I really needed to get on this. So we are going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. The big hit we've been waiting for the longest time. I mean, Hugh Jackman said he was done with Wolverine back when Logan came out, but here we are. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds. You are our hero for convincing a man who is tired to come out of retirement to be our Wolverine again. And you know something? The movie did not disappoint. It was actually a genuinely good film. I mean, from the opening credits, to the action, to the comedy, to the really serious stuff, this movie pretty much had most of what we wanted. Although, I will say, amongst the many cameos that I, for one, am glad we got, there were a couple that I felt like they were kind of deceiving us with. Damn you, internet rumor mill. You fooled me once again. But otherwise, yeah, it was actually an enjoyable film to watch from the start to the end. There are mid-credits, sort of. Doesn't stop the credits, it just plays alongside the credits. And there's a post-credits. You can stay and watch through them, or you can let it go. It doesn't really do the whole lead into the next movie thing. It's still a fun watch. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman deliver once again. Some of the familiar faces are back from the other Deadpool movies, except for TJ Miller. No TJ Miller to spoil this film. I'm sorry, I've just never really been a fan of TJ Miller. I just don't find him that funny. I think the only time I ever really enjoyed him, like he actually made me laugh, was in Transformers Age of Extinction. And even then, his character doesn't last that long, and that's probably why I put up with him, because he gets killed off real soon. Sorry to spoil that movie, but TJ Miller was not missed in this film in the slightest. It's funny, I've seen some interviews with TJ Miller talking about how he would never work on Deadpool 3 or with Ryan Reynolds again. Well, of course not, dumbass. You got fired. Now, the film is missing some of the characters from the last Deadpool movie with no explanation. So we're just supposed to assume that the whole time travel ending of Deadpool 2, where, Deadpool goes back in time and saves everyone. Apparently he doesn't save everyone. Yeah, no, I didn't really care for the ending of Deadpool 2 where he does fix the time travel device and goes back in time, because I don't know, I just feel like it really ruins his whole development. But it's a comedy, so rules really fly out the window. And because it's Deadpool, that's known for breaking the fourth wall and being aware of different realities, you can't really take that kind of stuff too serious. So, alright, fine. I let it go for the purpose of this film, to enjoy it. The music is on point. They always pick the right songs for these. I can't say too much more if you haven't seen the movie, because I feel like I would just be spoiling it. And no, I have some spoilers I'm really looking forward to, but for a Disney movie that's really tries to be for the family, and this is kind of their first Marvel film that's rated R, MCU film that's rated R, well, and they're making their money, and the blood and the violence and the curse words are there. Not as overly sexual as before, but the rest is good. Remember when they tried to re-release Deadpool 2 as a special edition where it was PG-13 so more people can go? That was like Disney's little experiment to see if they can make Deadpool a PG-13 character. And luckily for us, people didn't really fall for it. I have still yet to see that one because they did kind of alter it, and I do want to see how they censor it. But I just did not want to pay the money to see it in the theaters, because that would actually just be encouraging Disney to make everything PG-13. Even though I don't think every superhero needs to be PG-13, I do feel like Deadpool should be the one that's rated R. With no further ado, with my Wolverine shirt, I am just gonna go ahead and get right to the spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, well, you better get on it because the internet does not know how to shut up about spoilers. But I'm gonna give you the chance to walk away from this. So don't get spoiled by the spoiler by me. Cut to here. Wasn't that opening fight scene with the TVA fun? With Deadpool killing and dancing to the beat of NSYNC's Bye 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 after he dug up Wolverine's grave and desecrated his whole body while slaughtering the TVA? Little disrespectful, but still enjoyable enough for me to forgive it. Yeah, I just thought the TVA was just kind of I just don't like how the MCU does the TVA. They make them too jokey. And thanks to the Loki series, it only proves that with the TVA, there's always that rogue employee that wants to mess everything up. In this case, it would be a character by the name of Mr. Paradox. Mr. Paradox, I tried to do some research on him. Before the movie, I wasn't really too familiar with him, but it just sounds like he's basically the same concept as Owen Wilson's Mobius. But they couldn't get Mobius in this film because, I don't know, I guess Owen Wilson wanted to leave the show. I guess because he wanted to avoid paying child support for the child that he doesn't acknowledge. Yeah, burn, I know, a little below the belt, but come on. I gotta say, I was disappointed that there was no Cable in this. Not everyone from the X-Force was in this movie. I mean, I'm glad we got Shatterstar back, one of my favorite characters. Yeah, I mean, where's Terry Crews? Where is Bill Skarsgård? Well, you know what? Brad Pitt wasn't in this movie, but we can pretend Brad Pitt's character was because, he's invisible. But yeah, I did enjoy the cameos that we did get. I don't know why Daniel Radcliffe was being cheeky, why the rumors were going around that Daniel Radcliffe was going to be in this film. It's also the same way as they kept saying that Patrick Stewart was going to show up as Professor X, which I guess this would have made sense to have Professor X considering the main bad guy is Cassandra Nova, because she is Professor X's twin sister. How many siblings does Professor X have? That's the problem with X-Men. All of them have family issues and they always seem to have a brother or sister that wants to start some shit. But yeah, the cameos were fun. We had Toad once again. We had Tyler Mane as Sabretooth with straight teeth instead of fangs, but it was still fun to see. I mean, he was more vocal in this movie. Ready to die! Even though, I gotta say, we didn't really get a good close-up shot of a lot of these cameos. Oh well, who cares? We did get Aaron Stanford's Pyro, and how he took care of Human Torch it just made sense. I'm surprised I haven't seen any of a fight like that in the comics. I mean, it probably does exist, but I haven't seen that. And another cameo with Chris Evans showing up as the Human Torch from the 2 Fantastic Four movies, tricking Deadpool thinking he was Captain America. I think he had us all fooled. I mean, I knew something was off, he had dark hair instead of blonde hair and a beard, but I would have just accepted the fact that the actor didn't want to bleach his hair. We do have to seal up that 20th Century Fox, don't we? The only thing I thought was weird about the bad guy cameos was Juggernaut, because it's clearly the Juggernaut from X-Men The Last Stand, but he wasn't played by Vinnie Jones, and yet they chose to go with that one, knowing full well that they already had Juggernaut from Deadpool 2, who was played by Ryan Reynolds. Future Anthonix here. I just wanted to let you know I'm editing, and there were a couple points that I wanted to make that I just didn't at the time. All those bad guys, not all of them were actually played by the original actors. That's why we never really did get a good look at them. It's kind of like when we watched Space Jam Legacy and you see all those Warner Brother characters in the background, like the Penguin and Mr. Freeze and the Clockwork Orange gang, but they're not actually the actors, they're just people in costumes. That was pretty much what it was for the bad guy cameos in this movie. But, whatever, eye candy, like, delicious cameos everywhere. We got Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner. We had Wesley Snipes come back as Blade. Now, I thought that was a trip only because, well, it's no secret and it was made famous that Wesley Snipes hated Ryan Reynolds during the filming of Blade Trinity. I guess they patched things up. And then we also got the sweet little girl who played Laura, X-23, from Logan. She's a bit older now, so she's really grown into the X-23 role. And I love that we especially got Gambit in this.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today.
Not the Gambit from X-Men Origins Wolverine, but Channing Tatum's Gambit. And this was long overdue because, well, sadly, Channing Tatum was screwed over by the many X-Men movies. He was supposed to show up as Gambit in X-Men Apocalypse. And then he was supposed to have his own solo film. It's sad because he actually showed up at press conferences. He showed up at Comic-Con with the entire cast of the X-Men movies. They did selfies, they did a lot of pictures, and then they just dropped the whole Gambit thing. So I love seeing when actors get their final redemption for the things. Channing Tatum's, Nolan's accent, a little thick, but I am fine with it. I really am.
When you get out of here, you have a drink for me, yeah?
He was more Gambit than what we had seen in film before. Would it have killed Disney or the MCU to actually make Gambit's eyes black with the red pupils? Like, why couldn't they give him contacts? I think that's kind of a Gambit signature thing, is his blackened eyes with the red pupils. But otherwise, they all understood the assignment. Yeah, like I said, no Daniel Radcliffe, but we did get Henry Cavill as one version of Wolverine. And I gotta say, if they actually do need to replace Hugh Jackman, he is the guy that should do it. It was cute seeing the other versions of Wolverine. And then like seeing all those different versions of Deadpool come out to fight Deadpool and Wolverine. Like some of them got a little Disney jokey, with Nice Pool. And also Dog Pool because the MCU loves adorable animals. But it was great to give Blake Lively a role as Lady Deadpool. Nathan Fillion was the Skull Deadpool. I forget his name. And we even had Matthew McConaughey as the cowboy Deadpool. Like I said, the fighting visuals were great. The editing, though, on some of the fights kind of bugged me. But otherwise, it was a win. Cassandra was a great villainess. Her plan to destroy everything and the final sacrifice was great as well. Though I really did feel like the third act stretched a bit too much. And I wish they had gone into deeper detail of what happened with Wolverine. Like, I wanted to see visuals of, like, the other X-Men, and I wanted to see what happened, not just humans attacked them. And we can only assume that maybe the humans are friends of humanity, or worse, the Purifiers, which I will bring up in the X2 review. I did like how he explained why he started wearing the yellow suit, though, because the team wanted him to, and then he refused, and then he went away, and while he was away, they were killed, so he wears the suit to honor them. It's touching. It's really touching. And just listening to Chris Evans in the post-credit scenes actually literally insulting Cassandra. You'd think he wasn't going to, but he actually does. And what I really love about it is Chris Evans was throwing in his full Bostonian accent while doing it. All right. Jon Favreau cameo, that was nice. I was trying to wrap my head around why our Deadpool was interviewing to be an Avenger in the Earth 616 universe, because the fanboys are going to be like, but Earth 616 is actually the comic, not the movies. I don't care. It's established now that we're living in the Earth 616. Thank you, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. One more thing I just wanted to throw in before I render this video. That scene of Wolverine cussing out Deadpool inside that car right before that epic fight, wasn't that a great scene? Like, the whole theater was quiet. You can hear the pin drop. That is how good Hugh Jackman's acting is. Sorry, I just really want to throw that in. All right, back to the regular program. Let's bring back our non-spoiler friends right now. Hey everyone, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. As I was telling our spoiler friends, I hope you didn't peek, I did enjoy the movies. The cameos were great. There were some I was hoping for, but that's okay. It's just very enjoyable. I do feel like the third act, I don't think this is a spoiler, but I mentioned it in the spoiler. I do feel like the third act was kind of stretched a bit too long. It's like they kept adding more to it. Maybe they had to reach a time quota. So let's just go ahead and give this a rating now. I am going to say the movie is going to be an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Closer to a 9 than a 7. 8 out of 10. I think the only thing that really hurt it was just mostly the time and just a few of the things that we missed out that we were kind of promised by the internet, but it's not the movie's fault. So that's why I'm giving this a really high up 8 out of 10. So thank you for watching. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up now because now I want to also review another X-Men film. I'm going to go ahead and leave this Deadpool up here with the X-Men. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And take care, bub.